So I've had a number of practices over the years, probably really never seen by anybody, at least um, standing on their own. I mean, they're probably seen by everybody just because of how they, mycelium style, reach into everything that I am. Probably every week I define my art in a new way as an exercise, and so I have like 40 years of definitions of my art, and that has been a great whetstone for my practice, overall. Probably a similar number of years I've written a death poem every day. Same idea, not usually for publication or sharing, but just my own practice. This is something, I have one that's called What I Believe, which maybe I'll do, if I'm given the time, do something like that for the What I Believe. But this is what I've learned, and I call it What I've Learned, ellipsis, an incomplete, complete accounting. I'm not saying that this is what is true, I'm saying that this is what I have learned, perhaps mistakenly. And what I have learned has been what I have endeavored to teach. So, again, thank you all for being here. I just wanted to, quite often I just open this up and I'll add something or revise something or sort of to have some kind of concordance of, everything. So I was just thinking, well, if it's surgery time, and that just seems somewhat more likely that it's the end. Again, I don't know how much more likely, just I have no idea. But I thought, well, I just want to share this because it just kind of lives in my phone, and I thought, well, maybe just the best way for me to do it is just to record it. And I thought, well, I think it's just a whole bunch better for me if there's anybody here, like just Brian and I. But having all of you here is great. Although probably making it harder on me so you guys can go. Except for Brian. Brian is my rock. So my plan is I'll looks like it's recording, I'll post it, and then I'll put the words in the description or something like that so you guys can read along. But I'm not planning to do this so much in terms of Q&A, or if you have a question, I just kind of want to get it out, but I also don't want to squash anybody that has to respond because you are here, so don't squelch yourselves, but I'm not planning to do a whole Q&A. Some of these may hurt, and some of these you may want to argue with, but I'm right. That was just the voice in my head. This is what I've learned. And as I've said, it could be mistaken. In fact, maybe it's most likely mistaken. We don't know. And I say what I've learned, it doesn't mean I've learned it fully or well, or only learned it once and then got it. Certainly might have been one of those keep learning lessons. Like for me, book by its cover is one of those lessons. I keep thinking, oh, now I got it. Fine. I've been an idiot. Now I got it. And then 2 years later, and then a year later, and then 4 years later, and like literally for 40 years, I just keep thinking, oh, all the old Steves were such idiots. I got it. Thank God I woke up today able to get it. I got it. And then I just traipse through my life thinking I got it and I'm wise, and then boom, there I am judging a book by its cover, and it's like, oh, okay, so you could say I've learned it, but that doesn't really mean I've learned it all or kept it, right? So, okay. How's my volume? It's okay.
Yeah.
Quiet first. Quiet last. In between, as much quiet as you can remember. We are each alone. We are each unalone. Coffee before anything. And coffee before that. Always capitalize love. Always capitalize art. There's no need to capitalize I. There are many words which I always or mostly always capitalize. There are many words which I never or mostly never do not capitalize. Consider and commit to this yourselves, if it suits you. Meaning is nowhere. Meaning can be seen everywhere. Awareness. Presence. There is a difference between truth and truth. We can say what truth is and be correct. We can say what truth is and only be incorrect. Laughter is a lubricant. Reasons precede choices. Rationales follow choices. People proffer rationale where reason would have been most appropriate. Owning a pet is owning a being. Owning a being is slavery. Watch for the words my pet, my plant, my spouse, my child. They may tell you something that the pet, plant, spouse, and child do not. If the reason you have a child or a pet begins with I want, you've missed the mark and begun the relationship with a wound. A grievous wound. A naming is never a knowing. When someone has had an accident, the reflexive "are you okay" can most often be understood to mean, am I okay? What will this cost me? When will my normal return? Asking after others can be a guise for asking after the self. Practice asking after others with absolute sincerity. Follow that up with giving birth to every action from the wondrous wellspring of absolute sincerity. Two-ply toilet paper. You have all that you need to rearrange the elements of your life from scared to sacred. Learn from a child. Seek patiently permission from a tree, a stone, etc. Seek patiently permission from each being. Be wary of each of the tempting solutions coming to us from outside of us. Empowerment, for example, says you are powerful. Implicit in this idea is that you are powerful because others agree that you are powerful and promote your power. You're not beautiful because you're told you're beautiful. You're not beautiful until you're told you're beautiful. Being told you're beautiful and believing it only because it's been told to you reveals your sense of beauty to be from without rather than from within. Perhaps rather than "you're beautiful," offer "I'm sensing your beauty." Common wisdom says each day may be your last. Fair enough. Though know that beginner's mind says each day may be as your first. Be prepared. Be unprepared. Take notes. Give notes. Receive notes. When looking to credit causation, consider the deeply important difference in these two phrases. Because of that, this. Despite that, this. It seems that most everything has its end, and it seems that nothing is finished. Sure, we can be finished with it. We can suspend our engagement. But our disconnection is not its finish. Without presumption of or recognition of value, function, appreciate it all. I've capitalized it all usually when I write them. Appreciate any and every element of it all. As your days, so your life. As your thoughts, so your life. As your actions, so your life. All war begins ultimately with the assertion of other. Othering is at the root of so many, many, many expressions of humanity. This is a parenthetical question in the first word at the start. Only sincerity leads to authenticity. It may not arrive at authenticity, but it leads to it. When able, not simply when ready to, offer to, parenthetical, either do it or offer. I'll start again. When able, not simply when ready to, offer to pay for another's missteps. Caged animals, specimen trees, separating one from its many, from its home, in order to know or celebrate it, is destroying what it is. It is many, not one. Cut flowers, cut trees, presented as presents, as special, are killing for aesthetics. They are decidedly not life continuing. Cry until you laugh. Listen to silence, listen to sound. Listen, hear. Developing energy, time, and resources to develop the ability to help others increases the likelihood that you will help others. Help others. Look up. Look inward. Look down. Look into. Look. Posture, posture, posture. Practice, practice, practice. Patience, patience, patience. There is a time for that. It isn't now. There is a time for this. It is now. The world doesn't love you. There is love in the world for you. Nothing is perfect. Everything is perfect. The principles are fine teachers. Let your practices carry the principles. Let your practices nourish the principles. Let your practices challenge the principles. Let your practices reveal the principles. My recipe for empathy, in this order: sit with, sit for, sit as. Rules, quote, rules unquote, are often not written. They are not, in fact, extant. Rather, what are purported to be rules are but expressions of the ego of those in positions of authority, who are merely asserting their expectations, preferences, and/or understandings. Consider both the rule and the motive force or forces behind the rule. Consider alternatives to following the rules. Consider following the rules. That one hurts. Enjoy protesting. Enjoy rebelling. Enjoy following rules. When in doubt, volunteer. When not in doubt, volunteer. Invite what invites the bitter. Benefit by the bitter. Transform the bitter. When observing the natural world, we are kinder in our engagement with it if we seek to notice form and function rather than utility. We cannot know the whole through dissection. We can know the whole through dissection. For the wise, reductionism illuminates much. For the unwise, reductionism disguises much. Curiosity and enthusiasm. These are some few of the oases I see in the sea of humanity. Compassion is a bridge between self and other. Every other is their own self. Breach. Fruits only follow shoots. Shoots only follow roots. Hope and fear are equally acidic. They each argue for the not now. Somewhere beyond the city is the earth. Somewhere beyond the rural is the earth. Somewhere beyond the farm is the earth. Somewhere beyond the garden is the earth. Somewhere beyond all cultivation is the earth. When you believe you're seeing the earth, you may be seeing the work of humanity upon the earth. Seek deep seeing. Somewhere beyond, observe, penetrate, remember. It doesn't need your name on it. Anything constrained by limits will be constrained in its ability to offer us the unlimited. Speaking to a being that does not speak your language means that you are not understood. Speaking to a being that does not speak your language invites the meaning, the feeling, the essence of you through your being and onward to theirs. Speaking to a being that does not speak your language means that you are understood in some way, perhaps in their way, perhaps in your way, but in some way. You cannot make time for anything. You can't make anything a priority. There is nothing that is a weed. Anything can come to be called a weed. There is nothing that is a weed. You cannot tell the story. You cannot tell a story. You can only tell your story. You cannot not tell your story. The lotus flower is there from the start. We're already dead. We, as whatever this is that we are prone to addiction. If you find that you are not addicted to any of the myriad things to which we become addicted, look again. Continue looking all the years of your days. Address it compassionately, ceaselessly, and rigorously. Deserve and worth are the stunted children of judgment. Enjoy the light, enjoy the shadow. Give, not, and if able, never as transaction. Give expectationlessly. Why with everything? Repeat repeatedly. It depends on how you've slept. Travel with the body. Travel with the mind can be problematic. Travel with the heart is often problematic. The window of our awareness and or our patience limits our ability to see. Forgive for the blamed as often as serves them. Forgive for yourself as often as serves you. Direct your energies towards learning not to blame in the first place. Moving water. Still water. Falling water. Observed or not, each of your actions is a seed. Perhaps your inactions too. Kindness. Learning to be alone and unbusy is an exquisite skill. Plant trees. Plant more than trees. To the extent you are someone else when entirely alone, not someone who anyone else truly knows, you can see the work before you. Know the triangle, then know the pyramid. Know the square, then know the cube. Know the circle, then know the globe. Know the arc is but the circle not yet grown. Know the circle is but the spiral not yet grown. Sit with water. Stand with water. Walk with water. Dance with water. Sleep with water. Take water as a teacher. Poetry is the voice of the writer, the voice of the illiterate, the voice of the quiet and the quieted. Wait your turn, then give your turn to those in wait. Lend your ear to poetry and your mind will follow. Lend your mind to follow and your heart will follow. Lend your voice to poetry and the world will follow. Listen. Change. Hear itself. So far, so happy. That's in quotes, because it wasn't, not a phrase of mine. No worry, less hurry. We can't know. Also, we don't not know very well. Being near to birth, being near to growth, being near to decay, being near to death. Truly near, if only the once. Adjectives tell us only about ourselves. Let go is not simply a pithy pleading from philosophers and sages. It has support in our anatomy. Study the sphincters. The most reliable pleasures can be felt when what holds tight when inactive is released at last. Let go. Before seeing what isn't, see what is, see how it is. We are pattern seekers, we see patterns everywhere. There are no patterns anywhere. Comfort is a sort of gravity. Familiarity is a comfort. Patterns lend the illusion that the unknown is not at hand. If it's meant to move, see that it moves. Most everything is meant to move. The when may not be soon. Everything can be still. Nothing can be stilled. Adding to a system doesn't still a system. Of the many types of use, most are not proper. Disuse, underuse, misuse, overuse, abuse. Only proper use is proper use. Play with reason. Play reasonlessly. Play as study. Play as work. Art is not after what is important. Money is an argument for discommunion. Stress is continual. Dance with stress. Most often we are selling a version of ourselves. Consider who and how you present to others. Your intonations, your words, your actions. Your person may be buried beneath your personality. If you'd like to save the person buried there, dig. Engage in Codswallop. Impressionistic words. Important communication can be achieved with gibberish. Challenge received wisdom. It is a gift to wisdom, and thereby a gift to humanity. Challenge authorities. It is a gift to the authorities, and thereby a gift to humanity. Conclusions are for the dead. Queries, the living. We cannot know what is after. Memories are rickety, involve in the now. Why first, how second, why third, be here now, contains the when and the where. What? This. Less than that and last. What? Ask. First, last, and throughout. Aware, not, and if able, never, as dialogue. Aware commentarylessly. Think more. Think less. Be thoughtful. Less self leads to self, as well as selfless. Don't buy what cannot be sold and yet is for sale in the world. Much of what is for sale is not something which can be sold, but which can be convinced by ourselves or by others to give of our resources for, which we can be convinced to give of our resources for. Hushing a crying person is not consoling them. Hushing someone who is crying is not supporting the crying. That crying is supporting many things. Support the cry. Also, we develop many skills around hushing ourselves. Again, support the cry. Judgment is corrosive and inaccurate and ineffective. Holidays mark the mundane days, mundane. Celebrate the burbling verve there beneath each sensation. Work at play, play at work. Goals are temptations from the now. Aim, adjust. Surrender is more important and harder to truly practice than most will ever know. At least on occasion, be the fool. Know the goalless path, dance it, walk it, follow its direction, for it has no destination. Rest. The rest can wait. Move, the aims are still there, still. Nothing so moving. Seek the fecund fields of learnings. Not each learning comes from a teacher. Each learning comes from something you may call teacher. Fear wounds and announces its woundings. Hope wounds without announcing its woundings. There is no meant to be. There is just this is. Teach early, teach all. There are many types of strength. There are many types of beauty. Barefoot. Greet and know the earth, barefoot. Be greeted by and have the earth come to know you. Barefoot. Smile. Hug. Learn to be loved. Love. Awaken. Sleep. Permission sought is community created. Learn to bow, or do not, but bow. Tremble. Leap. Seek truth, capital T. It underpins truth, lowercase t. Seek truth, it underpins truth. Argue only if each party is interested in understanding, in change, in growth. Fight exactly never. When in doubt, doubt. When certain, doubt. Connect, kindness, always. Laugh until you cry. Snuggle. Excuses? No, thank you. Explanations? Only if asked, thank you. Love does not contend. Heart and mind work is often confused for spiritual work. You cannot love yourself. There is no spiritual work to do, or even that is done. Marvel at a dewdrop. Marvel at a cloud. Marvel at a fern. Marvel at a feather. Marvel at a stone. Marvel at a child. Marvel with a child. With no thought to your age, get on a swing set. Swing. With no thought to your age, sit in a rocking chair. Rock. With no thought of the time, drive around the roundabout a few more times. Whee! Don't wait for a shower or stage or audience to sing. Sing. The heart's work is play. The mind's work includes play. The spirit, whatever it may be, if indeed it be at all, is free of both play and work. It is free of both doing and undoing. It simply is, and perhaps as well is not. It's all in phases. It's all of some spectrum. It's all one. It's all itself. If you are angered, regardless of the genesis of the spark on the fuse, it is you who've packed the fuel. Circumstances give fire to your cotton. Will the fire move along your fuse or your wick? Are you a bomb or a candle? The fire is coming. Say thanks. Show thanks. Practice receiving thanks. Practice offering thanks. Same with apologies. I am regretting something in our past. I am sorry. Please tell me your version of events. I am listening now. Again, I'm sorry. Just this. Who am I is a fertile question, maybe the most fertile. There is knowing outside the mind. The earth knows, for example. Less is not more, more is not better. We don't come first, we think we do. Learn to be loved, practice being loved. A writing or speaking person is trying to convince themselves or their audience or both of what it is that they are saying. Planning is not synonymous with expecting. Pain is caused by every action. Does your every action occur with this in mind, with limiting pain in mind? Winning gains nothing. Losing gains nothing. Path and process. There is no create that is not as well destroy. There is no destroy that is not as well create. You are not your body. Your body doesn't speak the language you speak. Listen, listen, listen. Feel, feel, feel. You are not your thoughts. You are not your feelings. Childlike wonderment, joy. We crave more, we crave next, we crave other, we crave new. We're willing slaves till our graves, unless and until we savor this now. I believe in reason. I believe in reasoning. I do not believe your reasons. Release from things, absolve oneself of memory or hope. Be unattached from the conflagrations of emotion. Drop story and give no weight to spiritual lessons, lest they weigh you down. Be penetratingly honest with yourself, about yourself. No hurry, less worry. Tea. Those things that you have the best reason to do them without reason. Do them again. Greet the tree. Grieving never ceases. Over time, we may fuel it less. Grieving never ceases. Joy can be ceased, and often is. Give yourself as a pilgrim to the stone, the moss, the cloud. Give yourself as a disciple to the mud, the shadow, the refuse. Give yourself to each element as you would give yourself to a guru. Teach, learn, unlearn, relearn, teach, and hug. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is tea still the highest use of water? Is it beer?
Coffee.
Beer, is it coffee? Let the fights begin.
Lemonade.
Thank you for sharing.
Excellent.
Thank you all. I don't know how long it would take to read it, so I just guessed how long we might be.